chasing ghosts down on Main Street. They're chasing shows in the park. The temps are dropping fast now, and it's starting to get dark. The landscape's getting scary. Music's getting shrill. There's election season coming. They're going for the kill.
Ensuring the right of every citizen to vote.
We need to take the money out of politics. Citizens United needs to be overturned.
We need to have more than two parties.
Make it much easier for people to vote.
I would change campaign finance law. I would say that corporations aren't people, and I would get rid of the personal limits for individuals to donate. So no more PACs, no more businesses, but individuals can donate as much as they want because it is a First Amendment right, and that would allow for full transparency in campaign finance. I think that should be the goal, 100% transparency, because any other kind of limits on it will only drive contributions underground. I don't think anyone thinks they're going to get money out of politics, and you're not going to get money out of politics until you can stop buying politicians for a reason. If government was smaller, which a lot of people here disagree with, but if there was more limited government, not picking winners and losers, then corporations would have no incentive to buy politicians.
Well, when we go to the Electoral College, Maine is one of the two states that split the electoral vote proportionally. And I think all states should do that so that would more accurately reflect how the country is voting.
I move to a paper ballot.
I would, in our electoral process, I would have that money is not speech in politics.
I would get rid of superdelegates as fast as I could.
I would move to automatic registration.
Get rid of the superdelegates. This superdelegates bullshit. Yeah, totally. I think it's incredibly undemocratic and doesn't really leave room for more fringe candidates to emerge. And I think also I'd love to see more debates that are inclusive of the Libertarian Party and the Green Party to just get more perspective.
I would like to see a change where when you turn 18 and you have a state ID or a driver's license, you should be automatically registered to vote. There should be no process. You should be registered as an independent immediately, and if you want to switch to a political party, you make that choice. But I think a baseline, everyone should be registered to vote immediately, have to go through no process to vote in their own country.
I get rid of the superdelegates.
I think I would change the rhetoric. It's funny because somebody will say something like, Hillary will say something about education or a $15 minimum wage, and then the other side will sensationalize that in order to exaggerate the point of difference between them when in fact the difference is actually pretty small. And I would like to see that minimized as much, and that was my first response as well on how to be more inclusive. I think if we can minimize that rhetoric and find a different way to be clear about the differences between candidates, then people will be much more enthused about who they're going to vote for and follow somebody.
Open primaries.
Direct popular vote for everything.
I would like to see Maine move away from caucuses and into a primary.
Automatic voter registration across all 50 states. So basically making it easier for people to vote and also giving them more options.
So if we can include voters as much as possible, even if there are other problems in the system, I think it's important to make sure that everybody who should be getting a vote is getting a vote. And I think that's one of the most important things.
Great. Get money out and have more people like Bernie who don't take money from big corporations and billionaires.
I would do what Australia does with voting and make voting mandatory.
I think we're on the right track with the gradual dismantling of the superdelegate system. I think that it is inherently undemocratic, and that as a representative of the Democratic Party, we need to strive towards something that is a little bit more inclusive and a little bit more representative of what the public mood is.
I would increase the number of members of the House of Representatives because that would concurrently increase the number of electors. And I think that both of those changes would have a positive effect on electoral politics in the United States.
I am passionately and deeply concerned about education, K through 12 as well as college, gun violence, and I would also say women's rights generally, including healthcare, right to choose, and wage equality.
Get money out of politics.
It would be taking money out of politics, and it would be ending Citizens United. That's the key.
If we could implement 50 open state primaries, that would be what I would go for first. With getting rid of superdelegates a close second. But I think that would have more of an impact. Democrats need to wake up and realize that they're outnumbered by independents. And they're not going to win national elections by pissing off independents and shutting them out of the process. And until they get that, they're being stupid. So
they could probably just get rid of it. I mean, a lot of the way they do the districting and stuff like that, even for congressional districts, it's a lot of party machinations. It's why there's places where even though you might have a majority of one kind of people voting, one party, they don't win because their votes are diluted out, a couple here, a couple there, and it's, there's a lot of gerrymandering and I think that gives people a lot of disillusionment. They go out and vote and they say, well, nothing changed, what's the point, so I think that would get people motivated to be more involved.
Registration at age 18 for life, and we solve a lot of problems. If we could have that nationalized instead of being burdened by different nuances of state controls over how people get to the box. If we're voting for the President of the United States in a national election, there should be one set of rules for all the states. States can do what they want for electing their own people at their state level, but when it comes to national people in either the U.S. House or the Senate or the presidency, you've got to have one consistent system.
Where did all the moderates go? And the statesmen who bridge different thought? The scholars, the centrists, and the communicators. The greater good for which they fought. That's the thing about progress. Some are left behind. You're entitled to your opinion, but not your facts and lies.